So welcome to the Blooming Burren Family Quiz. Now we're going to have 5 fast and furious rounds where you are going to need a piece of paper. Now we have said already, as Pranjali said, if you've been following the Flower a Day on Facebook, you've got a slight advantage, but not for every single round. So the rounds have all passed the scrutiny of Dr. Sharon Parr. So any questions about what the actual real answer is, if they pass Sharon, they're definitely going to be right. So we're trusting all of you, no looking things up, no phoning for a friend. There will not be a prize for the top score because we can't judge that independently, but we are going to do a prize for the best team name. So as the quiz goes on, you'll see at the bottom of your screens, you'll have the chat button, and if you want to share your team name, try and share it please before the end of round 3, just so we've got a chance to pick out our favourite team name. And the winning person, the winning team name, we'll ask them to email us and with all their details so we can send their prize to them. If you manage to get all questions right on all rounds, I will be incredibly impressed. So there's going to be 10 questions per round, and up to 5 rounds. If we have time, we'll finish on the 5th round, which is really tricky. All you're going to need is your blank paper, so you'll maybe want to split your paper into 5 rounds and 10 questions per round. Each question you'll have an A, B or C choice, so all you're going to need to write for each question is A, B or C, and I think that's everything. Yeah, please don't post up any of your answers during the quiz using the chat. Keep them to yourselves if you think you know them. At the end of each round, I'll go through all the different answers for you as well, so you'll be able to add up your scores at the end of every round. So we will start with round 1, which is photograph identification, and this is using pictures that have been put on our social media posts, so our Flower a Day posts. So good luck everybody. Are you ready for your first 10 questions? The first question starts now. So the first question, a little description there. So just like the cuckoo, this small iconic flower creates fierce competition for who spots the first one of the year. So is it A, spring gentian, B, germander speedwell, or C, common dog violet? I'll give you 5 seconds to write your answer down. Hopefully you've got an answer by now, so I'm going to move on to question 2. So here's picture 2. So this beautifully scented flower is always avoided by grazing cattle, perhaps due to its thorny stems. Is it a bramble, which is A? Is it B, a honeysuckle? Or is it C, the burnet rose? So 5 seconds again to pick. Is it A, B or C? Okay, and we're ready to move on. Hopefully I'm not leaving too many of you behind. If I am, do please let me know. So question 3, we'll move on to question 3. So question 3, this unassuming orchid, also known as the wild tulip, gets its name from its distinctive pair of broad oval-shaped basal leaves. Is it an A, bee orchid, B, early purple orchid, or C, common twayblade? I give you 5 seconds to confer in your groups. Is it A, the bee orchid, B, early purple, or C, the common twayblade? Okay, we'll move on to question 4. We're still doing good for time. So question 4. This stunning bright flower can be found throughout the Burren from June to August. Its name comes from the distinctive shape and colour of its seed pods. Is it A, a herb robert, B, a bloody cranesbill, or C, a sea pink? 5 questions to confer with your group. Hopefully you're keeping up all right and I'm not going too fast. If I am going too fast, pop a message in the chat button and hopefully Pranjali can pick it up because I can't see the chat at the moment with screen share turned on. So we'll go to question 5. So question 5, easily confused with a cowslip. This pretty yellow flower comes from a cross between a primrose and a cowslip. Is it A, a primrose, B, a false oxlip, or C, a buttercup? 5 seconds to pick your answer. Hopefully you're not having too many disagreements in your team and you're all working well together. And hopefully, again, if you're finding you've got a bit of time because you're getting the questions quickly, you can work on getting the best team name for our prize. So we'll go on to question 6. So question 6, a member of the pea family. This small flower is commonly found in hedgerows and shady areas. So is it A, a dandelion, B, the bloody cranesbill, or C, the bush veg? So again, 5 seconds, you can confer in your team. Hopefully you're flying through these questions really quickly. So we'll move on to question number 7 of round number 1. So question 7, this beautiful spring flower is found in woodlands and shady areas. Is it A, the Irish eyebright, B, the cat's foot, or C, the wood anemone? I'll give you another 5 seconds to confer with your team. Hopefully you've all come up with an answer there. So don't forget, you're only writing down the A, B, or C. You don't need to write down the plant name for all of them to make it a little bit quicker and easier for you. We'll move on to question number 8. So number 8, the first of the Burren orchids to flower, the purple colour of the flower varies widely from deep to pale purple and sometimes even to white. Is it A, the early purple orchid, B, the autumn lady tresses, or C, the Irish orchid? So 5 seconds to confer. And like I said, if I'm moving too quickly, drop a chat message to Pranjali and hopefully she'll be able to get back to tell me. So 5 seconds. And that's question 8. So we'll move on to question 9. This flower is a welcome sign of spring and its bloom usually comes at the same time as a distinctive bird starts to call. They seem to prefer slightly wetter ground. Is it A, the meadow sweet, B, a daisy, or C, a cuckoo flower? Hopefully you've all got an answer for that one now. I must say it's very strange doing a quiz talking to a screen and I can't see you all out there. So hopefully we're moving along okay. Question number 10 for round number 1. So this is the end of round number 1. The male flowers are white and the female are pink, so are very easy to tell apart. Name for what it sort of looks like. Is it A, a white clover, B, an ox-eye daisy, or C, the cat's paw? So another 5 seconds to confer with your team. Well, with the first 10 questions, so that's the first 10 of the quiz. And if you're all happy enough with your answers, I'm not going back over pictures again, that would take far too long. So we'll go through the answers now and we'll see how many of them you've got right for round number 1. So good luck and let's see how you've done. So question 1, just like the cuckoo, this small flower, everyone wants to see it first, was A, the spring gentian. And hopefully by the time we're all allowed back into the Burren again, there'll still be some of these left to see. The spring gentian is very unusual in the Burren. You see gentians most of the time growing easily 2,500 metres above sea level. But in the Burren, it's quite impressive. You can find it growing virtually at sea level in some places. So we'll move on to question 2. So the beautifully scented flower, this is C, the burnet rose. And the smell is stunning. So next time you see one, definitely get down on your knees and smell it. It's definitely my favourite Burren scent. So that's question 2, was C. We'll move on to question 3. So this unassuming orchid is the common twayblade. So these orchids are common in the Burren, and next time you find one, have a really close look at its small green flowers, because it's said to look like small green bodies suspended in midair. So I must admit, I've never thought of that before when I saw one, but I'll be looking for them now. So question 3 was C. We'll move on to number 4, stunning bright flower, the really cheerful flower. and it's called the bloody cranesbill. And I never knew this till I looked it up, but the seed pods contain a coiled spring mechanism that really disperses the seeds really far from the parent flower. And again, it's the name of the name comes from the shape and colour of its seed pods. They're meant to look like a cranesbill. We'll move on to question 5. So easily confused with the cowslip. This one is the false oxlip, so it's B. So question 5 is B. And you'll often find it together with the primroses and the cowslips. So if you ever get a chance, have a look and see if you can see the difference between all 3. Question 6, the pea family. This one is C, the bushvetch. So question 6 is C. And this lovely little plant, it uses these branched tendrils at the top of the leaves to catch onto supporting plants to pull it higher up so you can see them much, much better. So question 6 was C. Question 7, the spring flower in woodlands, is the wood anemone. I'm really hoping they're still there when we're allowed back out into the Burren. Also known as the windflower. Beautiful name for it because of its flexible stem allowing it to bend with the wind. So question 7 was C. We'll move on to 8. Question 8 is A, the early purple orchid. And again, it's got a very distinctive smell, the early purple orchid. It's meant to smell like tomcat's pea. So maybe next time you see an early purple orchid, you can see if that fact is right or not. We'll move on to question 9. So question 9 is C, it's the cuckoo flower. So they tend to come around about the same time as the cuckoo comes into Ireland. It's really important for the orange tip butterflies that the caterpillars like to eat the leaves. So question 9 was C. We'll move on to question 10. And question 10, male and female, 2 different colours, and it's the cat's paw. So next time you have a cat, turn him gently upside down and have a look at his paw, and you might see the cat's paw flower looks a little bit like your cat's paw. It's also called Mountain Everlasting, which is another beautiful name for it. So that's the end of round 1. You can submit your scores via chat if you want to. Hopefully you've added up your scores. Hopefully you've all done really well. I was giving you a nice gentle start with round 1. So round 2, it's going to start to get tougher. If you do want to share,
that was fun. That was fantastic. Maybe remind people about the team name and that there might be a prize for a good team name.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Anjali. And if anyone tells me too fast or too slow, if you can pass it on.
Oh no, it's going fabulously otherwise. Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Oh, good. Yeah. So the team name, you need to have a good team name. So this is round 2 coming up. You've got till the end of round 3. So see if you can come up with a really good team name, because the winner of the best team name is going to get a lovely set of Burren field guides posted out to them. So when we are back in the Burren, you'll have your field guides up and ready to go. So you've added up your score. You can submit your score via chat if you want to share how well or how badly you've done. And do submit your team names as well. Do let us know. So if we're ready for round 2, don't forget to submit your team names. Round 2, we're looking at matching parts. So I will be showing you different parts of a plant and you have to match which one is correct. So question 1, you need to match the flower to its leaves. So the herb robert is in the red box and you have to pick if the herb robert has the leaf that's A, the leaf that's B, or the leaf that's C. So again, when you're writing down your answers, all we're looking for is A, B, or C. Okay, and I've started out on a bit of a tricky one because they all look pretty similar. So I'll give you 10 seconds of peace to go and argue with your team which leaf you think it is. Okay, hopefully you've all come to some kind of agreement on that one. We'll move on to question number 2. So question number 2 is that beautiful spring flower, the primrose. So there's the primrose in the red box on the left, and you've got the 3 leaves, A, B, and C on the right. So can you pick which of those leaves do you think matches the primrose? I'm going to give you another 10 seconds to argue with your teammates over which leaf you think it might be. Okay, hopefully you've all come up with an answer for that one. So don't forget, just write down question 2 and A, B, or C. We'll move on to question 3. So this is the common butterwort. This is a really cool Burren plant, one of our 2 carnivorous plants. And I won't tell you anymore because that might give away which leaf it is. So see if you can decide, is it A, B, or C? Okay, we're going to move on to question 4. Hopefully you're all doing really well at this. This is tricky now. Question 4, we're looking at the whitethorn. So you can see the whitethorn flower in the box in red on the left. Is it leaf A, leaf B, or leaf C? Okay, we're going to move on to question 4. For anyone that's joining partway through this, if you just see a blank screen and nobody talking, it's because we're trying to work out the answer. So we're going to move on to question 5. Question 5, this is our lesser celandine. So which leaf matches the lesser celandine? Is it A, B, or C? I'll give you another 10 seconds to confer with your teammates. Okay, hopefully you've picked a good answer there. We're going to move on quickly to question 6. Question 6 is the little tiny rue-leaf saxifrage flower. So is it A, is it B, or is it C? Don't forget, if I'm giving you too much time in these questions, make sure you start thinking up that good team name and get that team name submitted through the chat button. So anyone that's joined us, there's no prizes for the best top score because we can't mark them with you, but there is a prize for the best, most creative team name that you come up with for the quiz. So 4 rounds definitely, maybe 5 rounds, 10 questions per round. So round 2, question 7, here we go. This should be a nice easy one now. So there's your dandelion. Is it leaf A, leaf B, or leaf C that goes with the dandelion? 5 seconds this time because I think it's an easy one. And we'll move quickly on to question 8. So question 8, there's wild garlic, and that's in the red box on the left. So if you've just come and joined us now, we're trying to match the correct leaf to the flower in the red box on the left. So question 8, is that wild garlic leaf A, leaf B, or leaf C? Okay, I'll move on to question number 9. So question number 9 is the wild strawberry. So this one should be fairly easy, guys. Let's see how you do. Hopefully you've all come to an agreement with your team there. We'll move on to question number 10. So question number 10 is the beautiful mountain avens now that form blankets of flowers over parts of the Burren. So is it leaf A, is it leaf B, or is it leaf C? 5 seconds. Okay, that was the 10 questions of round 2, the matching parts round. So if you guys want to add up your scores, you can submit your scores through chat if you want. Do keep coming up with those team names. You have 1 more round left to go for the quiz before we really want to see those team names coming up, because poor Pranjali, she'll need a couple of rounds of time for picking out the best team name that you guys can come up with. So if you've only just joined us, we've just finished round 2, and oh, you can't add up your scores. I've not given you the answers yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's the answers for round 2. So question 1, round 2, it was leaf A, and I'll say this was a hard one. The 3 leaves do look pretty similar. So that is round 2, question 1, your answer. So 1 is A. I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's talking to a screen sends you mad. So round 2, question 2, the primrose leaf was leaf C. Hopefully you all found that. You could just see the leaf in the background of the flower. So question 3, the common butterwort is B. And you can see those big green fleshy leaves. It likes to grow where it's a little bit damp. And you'll often, if you look hard, you'll find flies stuck to the hairs of that leaf because that plant is carnivorous. So he's going to eat those flies as well. Question 4, the whitethorn. was answer C. So question 4 was C. Hopefully you all got that one without too much trouble. We'll move on to question 5, the lesser celandine, and that was answer B. Again, if you look hard in the picture, if you're sharp-eyed, you'd have seen in the picture of the flower, you can just see the leaves in there. So question 6 of round 2, and the flower is A. So it's a slightly blur, oh sorry, leaf is A. It's a slightly blurry picture of the leaf, but hopefully you can see it there. We'll move on to question 7, the dandelion. Everybody should have got this one right. So there's C for question number 7. We'll move on to 8, our wild garlic, and it's the leaves up in B. So question 8 was B. We'll move on to 9, our wild strawberry, and again it's leaf B is our wild strawberry. You'll all recognise C is that butterwort leaf again. And we'll move on to question 10. Here's question 10. The mountain avens was leaf C. So hopefully you all did well on that round, fingers crossed. So add up all your scores, like I said to you before I gave you the answers. So add up your scores, it should be easier now. You can submit your scores through chat if you want to. Do submit your team names. You've got 1 round left to create a really good team name that will have a prize for the best team name. Hopefully, Pranjali, they're all flying in by now. And we're going to get ready for round number 3. We're not doing too bad on time here. So round number 3, don't forget to submit your team name. We're going to look at orchids. This is a slightly trickier one now, so we're just going to concentrate on the orchids of the Burren. For all those people that have come and joined in partway through the quiz is going to have 5 rounds, I would reckon. I think we'll have time for the 5th round. Each round is 10 questions. You're not getting a prize for the highest score because we can't mark them with you, but we are giving a set of Burren field guides to the best team name that's submitted. So anyone new that's joined in, all you need is pen and paper, and for each question, you're just doing an A, B, or C answer. So we'll move on to round 3, our orchid round. So question 1, round 3, match the orchid with its correct name. So is the orchid A, a bumblebee orchid, B, a fly orchid, or C, a bee orchid? I'll give you 10 seconds to confer with your team and come up with the correct answer. And for anyone that has just joined us now, please don't submit your answers via chat. Keep them to yourselves. We're going to mark all the answers at the end of each round. So that's question 1, round 3. We'll move on to question 2. Match the orchid to its correct name. Is number 2, is that picture a frog orchid, a fly orchid, or a butterfly orchid? I love the different names. So 10 seconds to confer in your team. Okay, hopefully you've all come up with a good answer there. So for question 2, we're going to move on to question 3 of round 3, our orchid round. So here's our 3rd orchid. Is it a frog orchid, a fly orchid, or a butterfly orchid? What do you think in your teams? 10 seconds for you to confer. And if you find I'm giving you too much time for each question, don't waste that time. You can be using it, trying to come up with the best team name so you can win that prize of our lovely set of Burren field guides. So moving on to question 4, which is this orchid? Is it the dark red helleborine, the broad-leafed helleborine, or an early purple orchid? 10 seconds to confer with your team. Okay, hopefully you've all managed to match up question 4 with its correct answer. We'll move on to our 5th orchid of round 3. So our 5th orchid is this one, a dark red helleborine. Is it a fragrant orchid, or is it an early purple orchid? These orchids are not easy now. I will say the rounds are definitely getting tougher. So 10 seconds to confer with your team. Okay, hopefully you've come up with a good answer there. We'll move on to question 6 of round 3, Which is this orchid? The lesser butterfly orchid, the bird's nest orchid, or the leopard orchid? They are very good orchid names, and all of those are right. I haven't made any one of them up. So 10 seconds to confer with your team. And we'll move on now to question 7 of round 3. Question 7, what is this orchid? Is this an early purple orchid, a cuboid orchid, or a pyramidal orchid? Which one do we think it is? 10 seconds to confer with your team. Okay, 10 seconds are up. We'll move on to question 8. Remember, if I'm giving you too much time, get thinking of your team name. You need to submit it by the end of round 3 to win the prize. So is this orchid an early purple orchid, a purple orchid, or a late purple orchid? Is it A, B, or C? 10 seconds to confer. Okay, hopefully you've all come up with a good answer for that one without too many team arguments. Moving on to question 9. Is question 9 the Scottish orchid, the Irish orchid, or the Welsh orchid? So A, B, or C? 10 seconds to pick your answer. And we're going to move quickly on to question number 10. So question number 10 of round 3, which is the correct name for this orchid? Is it A, the March orchid, B, the late marsh orchid, or C, the early marsh orchid? 10 seconds to confirm with your team and come up with the one you think it is. And that's the end of the questions for round number 3. So we'll move into the answers for round number 3. So again, you're just marking your own. If you want to submit them at the end of each round, that's perfectly fine. If you've just joined us, don't go submitting answers via chat. We're trying to keep them secret till we get to the end of each round. So here's the answers for round number 3. So 1, our first orchid was the beautiful bee orchid, and hopefully the end of lockdown, we might get out there into the Burren to see it all ourselves. And the bee orchid, it looks like a bee, and it's part of the mimicry. It looks like a brown fairy body to try and get insects to come to the flower. It's a really cool little orchid. Number 2 was this beautiful orchid, the frog orchid. Really quite hard to find. I think I've only ever seen one, and it's green, so it blends in well with the background, making it hard to find. And it's called frog because the shape and the colour of the flowers is meant to be a little bit like a frog. Maybe with a bit of imagination, you can see a frog in that picture. Moving on to question 3, this is our fly orchid. And our fly orchid, it looks like an insect, the flowers do. It's a great way of attracting insects, but apparently the fly orchid smells like a wasp. So if you ever want to find out what a wasp smells like, you'll have to find a fly orchid and smell it. So if you do, let me know, I'm really curious. Question number 4, this orchid was our dark red helleborine orchid. And it's absolutely beautiful Burren orchid, only found on the limestone pavement as far as I know, and it's meant to have a scent of vanilla. So if you find one, give it a smell. Question number 5, this is our fragrant orchid. So another smelly orchid, and it's meant to smell a bit like that of cloves. So again, you're going to have to go and smell all these orchids when we're allowed back out again. Pollinated mainly by moths, they say for this one. Question number 6 is our butterfly orchid, so that's our A, and it likes dampish places, and again it's meant to have a nice smell at night, so this one's attracting evening and nighttime flying moths. So that was A for our lesser butterfly orchid. And then question number 7, this was our pyramidal orchid, so that's a C, and it seems to like growing in dunes, but you can find it on grasslands, and the 6-spot burnet moth is meant to like going to this one. It's meant to smell like a fox. So again, we're going to have to go out and smell the orchids this summer if we get the chance to. So number 7 was C. Question 8, this was our early purple orchid. So the first one of our orchids to flower. We saw this in a round before. The colours can really vary. I've never seen a white one, but I've heard they're out there. Question number 9, this is our Irish orchid, and it's really, really hard to spot. I've definitely never seen one. and it's found in the Burren. So it's nearly always found in the Mediterranean region, apart from in the Burren. So we'll all have to get out looking for that one as soon as we can. So 9 was B, and question 10 is our early marsh orchid. So question 10 is C. If you got that one right, I'm impressed, because I would never have known that one. And it's got a very rare subspecies called the flecked marsh orchid, and that's only found in one spot in the Burren. So it's a really special kind of orchid. So hopefully you've all enjoyed your round number 3. That was your orchid round. We seem to be doing okay for time. Hopefully I'm not rushing you too much. Get your team name in as soon as you can now, because this is it. Pranjali is going to be in charge of picking her favourite team name, and the best team name will get a set of our beautiful Burren field guides just for when you can go back into the Burren. So we're going to move on to round 4. Last chance to get those team names in there. And if you do want to tell us how you're doing with the scores, let us know. If you're doing brilliantly or not so brilliantly, we'd love to find out. Round 4 is a really difficult one now, very difficult. So you're going to have to try your best. Historical and mythical uses. Just before we move into that round, it comes with a definite warning. Please do not try these at home. They will not have very good side effects. Maybe, we just don't know. So I definitely will not encourage you to try any of these uses at home. So we're going into round 4, 10 questions, A, B and C answers again. There's a bit more reading on these slides. So the ribwort plantain, what is its historical or mythical use? Does it bring back the dead? Will it cure your hiccups? Or does it help people sleep? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to decide which of those historical or mythical uses you think the ribwort plantain might have. Okay, there was a bit of reading there, but hopefully you've managed to keep up all right and pick A, B or C. So we're going to move swiftly on into question 2. The mouse ear hawkweed. Does it cure diseases in mouse ears? Does it cure earache? Or was it used for whooping cough? Is it an A, a B or a C? You have 10 seconds to make up your mind. And we're going to move swiftly on because we're running out of time a little bit here. We'll move on to question 3. Question 3, this is about the sanicle. Does the sanicle cure all forms of madness? Does it cure the wounds and mischiefs that Mars inflicts upon the body? Or does it give flight to witches and their broomsticks? You've got 10 seconds to see if you can work it out. Okay, your 10 seconds is up. We're going to move on to question 4. I should have told you only one of these uses is correct. I made up the other 2. So you'll have to see if you can work out which ones I made up. So the common milkwort, does it help fatten that cow's milk? Does it stop milk going sour? Or was it used for helping nursing mothers get milk after childbirth? 10 seconds to pick if it's A, B or C. And that's your 10 seconds up. We're going to move swiftly on to question number 5. So the woodruff, is it an ancient hangover cure? Was it used for preventing blood clots? Or was it turned into a paste to use for skin complaints? 10 seconds to pick if you think it's A, B or C. Okay, we're going to move quickly on into question number 6 for round 4. So our lesson celandine that we've seen before, is it used to cure hemorrhoids? Is it for problems of the stomach? Or was it used for a drink to bring bad luck to people? 10 seconds to work out your answer. Hopefully I'm not rushing you too much here. I'm keeping a good eye on the time because Pranjali's a brilliant timekeeper now. So we'll move on to question number 7 of round 4. The cowslip. Was it used to cure the cow's cough in the past? Was it used to quieten noisy cows? Or was it rubbed onto cow's udders on May Day to protect the milk? 10 seconds to pick your answer. And we're going to move on to question number 8. We might not have time for round number 5, but that doesn't matter because this is the best round. So question number 8 in round 4. The whitethorn, was it used to make white hair dye? Was it used to make a paste to get splinters out of your skin? Or was it used for diseases of the heart and the blood vessels? 10 seconds to pick if you think it was A, B, or C. And we're going to move swiftly on to question 9. So question 9 is our bog bean. Was bog bean used for curing rheumatism? Was it a coffee substitute? Or was it used in sheep to prevent foot rot? 10 seconds to pick your answer. And we're going to move on to question 10. We are definitely starting to run out of time. So the Guelder Rose. Now, was this used to make a delicate flavoured tea? Was the bark used for muscle tightness? Or was it used as a wedding bouquet flower? So 10 seconds to pick your answer, A, B, or C. That's your 10 seconds up, and that is the questions for round 4 completely finished. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through the answers now. Hopefully Pranjali will have found a really good team name. Hopefully someone is going to win that wonderful prize of our field guides. So let's see how well you did with question 4. And like I said at the beginning of the round, do not try these cures at home because I really can't guarantee them. So question number 1, our ribwort plantain was good for even bringing back the dead. It was meant to have amazing properties. So question number 1 was A. Hopefully you've got it right. No hiccups or no sleeping from that one. Question number 2, our mouse-eared hawkweed. Our mouse-eared hawkweed, it was whooping cough. So in the past, it was used as a cure for whooping cough. I can't tell you if it was any good or not. I wasn't there. Question number 3, our sanicle. Sanicle was B. So it was written in Culpeper wrote that it was meant to have these amazing curative properties. So question 3 was B. Definitely not the witches. Question 4, the milkwort, was C, used to promote the flow of milk after childbirth among nursing mothers. So question 4 was C. We'll move on to question 5, the woodruff. Question 5 was B, preventing blood clots. Definitely not the hangover cure. And I don't think you can get wood-like skin complaints. I've never seen one anyway. So we'll go on to question number 6, our lesser celandine. This was a hemorrhoid treatment. Not too sure how good it was, but that was what they used to use it for in the past. We'll move on to question 7. So 6 was A, 7 was C. So very traditionally used on cow's udders on May Day to protect the milk. So that 7 is C. Question number 8, the whitethorn. The whitethorn used to be used for diseases of the heart and the blood vessels. So our whitethorn was C, 8 was C. We'll move on to question 9 now, our bog bean. And question 9 was rheumatism, coughs and colds. So question 9 is an A. And we'll rush on to question 10, the rose. And question 10, the bark was used for reducing muscle tightness. So not an easy round. I'll be really impressed to see how well you've done. So if you want to add up your scores and submit them, Pranjali, will we go ahead with round 5 or will we cancel round 5?
It's very tempting to keep going. This is going so well.
Will we give them round 5? We can give them a quick go.
I think we'll do a quick round 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Round 5, Pranjali, you're brilliant. Round 5 is the toughest round of them all. And round 5 is our anagram round. And it is really, really difficult. So round 5, you have until we tell you to stop. So until Pranjali calls time on this one, how many of these plant names can you work out? One like number 3 will say if it's a 2-word flower name or plant name, or if it doesn't say, it's just a 1-word plant or flower name. So we'd originally kind of said we were going to give you about 5 minutes. I don't know if we have 5 minutes, but you have until Pranjali calls time to work out as many of them as you can. And don't forget, Pranjali, we need to run through the answers very quickly. This is a really tricky round now, so I hope there's no fighting going on in the teams there. Split them up, see who can get which one first, but none of them are easy. So for anyone who's just joined in, this is round 5 of our quiz. We've had 4 really good rounds. This is our anagram round. So even if you've only just joined in, see if you can work out how many of these plant names that you know. Maybe I'll just go with 2 more minutes before we do the answer, because we are going to give a prize for the best team name. And it'd be really nice if we can announce that team name before we move into Maria's talk, which is going to be following very shortly. So maybe if I say I'll give you 2 more minutes tops and see how many of these ones you can work out. Okay, it looks like we're down to our last minute, so no panicking. They are tricky. I don't think any of them are that easy at all. I'll remind you, if it doesn't say afterwards, if it doesn't say after each one, then it's a 1-word one. If it does say afterwards, it'll be 2 words, okay? So if it doesn't have 2 words written after it, the plant name is only 1 word. All the rest, if they say they're 2 words, they're the only ones that are 2 words. So in fact, there's only 3 of them that are 1 word. So hopefully you're flying through some of these. Some of these are actually really, really hard. Down to the last 30 seconds. Are we all right on time still, Pranjali, with 30 seconds?
We're okay. I was just suggesting that it might be an idea for some people to take a screenshot of that if they want to work out, if you want more time later on and not to be told the answers, maybe they can do that too.
They can do that, but they'll have to block their ears for the next.
They have to block their ears and close their eyes for the answers. That's right, yeah.
Or just turn the screen off, or go and get a cup of tea.
Yeah.
That'll be enough time. Yes. I think we're coming up on time now. Yep, I'll run through the answers. So if you don't want to know what the answers are, if you want to come back later for them, this is recorded and up on YouTube, so the answers will be up there, or you can email me and I can give them to you. But if you don't want to see them, go and make a cup of tea now. So round 5, here's your answers to the anagram. So Bath Clonk, I've given you a picture to help you, see if you can work that one out. That one was our blackthorn. Number 2, our promiser. There's a picture, if you can get it with a picture. That was our primrose. Not too difficult, that one. This one, number 3, was a tricky one. And it was the frog orchid. Hope you guys got some of these. Question number 4, there's the picture. Question number 4 was the dandelion. We'll move on to 5. Agnes Printing, there's the picture. It was, of course, our famous spring gentian. Question number 6, the BB lol was the bluebell. Hopefully some of you got that one. Number 7, there's the picture of number 7. It's our fly orchid. Question number 8, our burnet rose. Question number 9 was the bee orchid. And question number 10, I love question number 10, Loretta Welly. This is the yellow rattle. So hopefully you got some of those right and they weren't all completely impossible. So well done for making it through the 5 quiz rounds. Please, like I said, press out round 4. Do not try those uses at home. I can't guarantee them.
I think people managed a pretty good score, Kate. If you look in the chat, you'll see people have submitted scores and they were fairly impressive scores considering some of those questions and answers were bizarre and would throw anyone off.